Dear Donald, dear Joseph, dear Roberta, dear Ursula, dear friends, first of all, thank you for the trust. I had in the last month in preparation of our Congress here in Rotterdam a lot of chances to speak bilaterally with the party presidents from each and every individual member party of our associations. I had the chance to meet a lot of friends in our EPP universe, if I may say so. And I'm really grateful to stand today here with the honor that I got your trust for leading our party in the next phase. That means to open a new chapter for us as EPP party. You know, I'm from Bavaria. I'm from a small village in Bavaria. 1,500 inhabitants. No special education, no privilege, no title. And that's why it is a moving moment for me to stand in front of you as new elected president of the EPP party. I promise you, I will work hard, and with my approach of making it as a team effort, we will do it together again as EPP. Thank you so much for your trust. And I have to be honest, it's now not so easy to add a speech in this moment of our Congress. Donald said it's between the Ukraine moment and the dinner, so it is quite challenging to give now some ideas about what we have to do, but give me the chance to express some of the ideas, and again, in the next years we will have a lot of chances to further develop them. Before I do so, dear colleagues, it's for me an absolute need, personal need, to thank Donald Tusk. He's a freedom fighter in Poland. Dear friends, he was successful party leader in Poland, prime minister, council president. Then he was president of our party. And now he decided to go back into the Polish arena. And I see the twinkle in his eyes that he loves to go back into the arena and wants to beat PiS together with our PSL friends in Poland. I have to say, there is one important heritage, despite the corona pandemic, which made it so difficult for you. Despite this pandemic, it is one really important, probably even an historic achievement for us as EPP family, dear friends. Donald Tusk closed the Viktor Orban file, and today the EPP parties is in a lot of Centre and Eastern European countries, the rule of law party of Europe. Donald, you can be proud about this, and I promise you, I myself and we all together will keep your legacy, your heritage for the future of our EPP family. Thank you so much for all what you did. And I was asking myself when I was listening to our friends from Ukraine, when Ruslana spoke, when Pedro, when Julia spoke now to us, I was considering what is probably the first thing we have to learn when we here in Rotterdam consider what is now the method that we as EPP are coming back, because let's be honest, we are not in the best moment of our history. Germany, France, young generation, squeezed between populists and the liberal center. What came to my mind when I was listening to our Ukraine friends, the first was to be courageous on our political program. And when I listen again today to our Ukraine friends, then I tell you, it was the president of Ukraine, present in the European Parliament, Roberta. He gave a speech a few days after the invasion started. And he was asking us as members of the European Parliament, please be honest. Tell us, are we welcomed? Tell us, can we become member of the club? He asked us, is it worth to fight? And I tell you, the first message we have to give in this moment is that we as EPP family, we say, yes, you are welcomed. Yes, it's worth to fight. Yes, you can become member of the European Union. The European People's Party supports the candidate status for our Ukraine friends and also for the Republic of Moldova. When we consider as EPP family today, what is the method again to bring us back, to win again? I want to put one simple question in the center. Dear friends, there is the question of who else than us? When we speak about security in today's European Union, about the defense question, then, dear colleagues, it was in Finland and in Sweden, over the last decade, always our political family. It was Moderata, it was Kokoomus, it was the Finnish KD, the Swedish KD, who always stood in front of the people and told them, we should become member of the NATO because it's good to be part of this family. It was not the socialists who woke up only lately. It was not the liberals who did so. It was the EPP who did so. And that's why, dear friends, we have to do it. Who else than us? We have to do it. Welcome to our Finnish friends and to our Swedish friends in the NATO family. You're heartily welcome. I give you another example, dear friends. In Germany, the socialist chancellor, without will, without determination, no leadership. Why? Because Schröder and the Putin-friendly, Russian-friendly network is still there among the socialists. And dear friends, in Germany we can see in the internal debate, in the domestic debate, that appeasement is wrong and unity and showing strength is the right approach. It was Friedrich Merz, it was Markus Söder, it was the CDU-CSU who put a resolution on the table of Bundestag to push the Berlin coalition to deliver heavy weapons. Without this, they wouldn't be ready to do so. And that's why, again, dear friends, who else than us can do it? It's the EPP who did it, and not the socialists who did it. Let's be proud about this. The Greens, dear friend, the Greens in some of our countries, the rising star, is voted in the European Parliament against proposals on the European defense several times. And let's be honest, only since the 24th of February, they woke up. Before that. For the Greens, only a weak army was a good army. And, dear friends, look to the political landscape around us. Then we have the right populists who campaigned 20 years ago. Here, Wilders in this country, Le Pen in France, who campaigned 20 years ago against the unification of the European Union, against the Center-Eastern European countries to join today's European Union. And, dear friends, Le Pen even hold up their hands for millions of dirty Putin's money. Shame on them, dear friends. Shame on the right populists. They are not a good answer for our union. That is today's political landscape when we speak about the biggest challenge, about war in Europe. That is today's landscape. Dear friends, I want to add another example for this who else than us question. Who else than us is speaking about the transatlantic relationship in a positive way. I want to thank Joe Biden. I want to thank each and every American soldier on European soil for their service to defend our freedom, dear friends. That is what we have to do. I am fed up about socialists attacking the Americans. The left wants to weaken NATO. The left wants to limit transatlantic trade. The left, dear friends, wants to bring US soldiers to court. The US are our best friends we have in the world. Without safety, there is no freedom. And that's why we have to invest in this friendship. Who else than the EPP should do it? And let me allow to give you a second, further example, next to the war as the biggest challenge currently on the table. Because we know that recession is in front of us. The economic figures are not promising. Inflation is around 7%. The interest rates will go up this summer. People ask us, can I afford my next energy bill? Do I still have a job tomorrow? Dear friends, next week we will vote in the European Parliament. Esther de Lange is managing this, the Fit for 55 package, so about climate change. We as EPP, we are committed. We are clear on this. It was Ursula von der Leyen who presented a binding climate law for Europe, 55%. And we will do it, because the future, the energy management of the future will be a good future for all of us. But today, the left is presenting in the European Parliament unrealistic, ideologically driven, and also harming our competitiveness, our industry, proposals on the table. The left is presenting these unrealistic proposals We are, dear friends, again, the party of how. The only way to save our planet are modern technologies. We need an innovation union and not a limitation union like the left is proposing this. We want to have decarbonization, but not deindustrialization of this continent. And this threat that we are risking our economic competitiveness is not unrealistic. We have there a big problem in front of us if we would follow this. The young generation, dear friends, is split up between Friday for Future and another part who wants to avoid to become another lost generation, who is looking for a job. Let's, dear colleagues, unite them. Let's, dear colleagues, do it the EPP way again. We promised always, the European key promise, that the next generation should have better opportunities than the previous one. That was always the European promise, and we as EPP, we stick to this promise, dear friends. The list, dear friends, of these questions on who else than us is long. I can add, having Kyriakos Mitsotakis in front of me, the border protection question. You know, he was clear to Erdogan. He said, you cannot blackmail us anymore. We will protect our borders. Ingrida and Christianis did the same with Lukashenko. Who else than us, dear friend, should do the job? That should motivate us. We are needed in today's European Union. Our contribution is needed. And that's why let's be proud about our political approach. The only way, dear friends, to win support among citizens is to be strong, to be proud. And in times of crisis, we are more needed than ever before. Crisis times are EPP times. People are looking for solid, constructive compromises, and that is what EPP is delivering. So, dear friends, that is my first question about who else than us. We are, in a way, the rock in today's political landscape of Europe. Let's be proud about our approach, and we have to work now together on our program to innovate. We have to use all the knowledge we have in our EPP universe, on the national level, regional level. We have the European Parliament, our ministers, our commissioners. Dear friends, we have a lot of mayors and local governors, and I'm proud about this. European People's Party is the mayor's party of Europe. We have the feet on the ground, and we can be proud about this. So thank you for all the mayors we have in our ranks. Dear friends, we have to activate this EPP universe to deliver for the future. And we have 2 out of 3 presidents in our ranks. It's the EPP president of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, and the EPP-nominated president of the European Parliament, Roberta Metsola. 2 strong ladies, 2 really strong ladies who are serving for us. And we saw it when we spoke about Ukraine, dear friends. They did it. They represented EPP and the whole European Union. So congratulations and thank you so much for all what you do for us. We are strong. We are the rock, dear friends. Against the EPP today, nothing can be decided. We are leading Europe and we will deliver until 2024. Dear friends, that is the first part about policies. The second part I want to say, and don't be afraid, it's only 3 parts, so I've tried to be now brief, but the second part is about the operational things. We already heard the words of Tono today. About 20 years, after 20 years of serving to all of us as Secretary General, he today will not run again for this responsibility. And we are starting all our operational work from an extreme solid ground. We are today the best prepared European party in the European Union, thanks to the service of Tono. I want to underline this, dear friends, and I want to say that you always had in these years, when I met you, you always had a clear idea about what is People Party means and what European Party means. So thank you so much, dear Tono. And dear friends, now we have programmatic work in front of us. We need new formats of work to meet. The political assembly, if I may say, can be improved about the working formats we have there. We have to prepare for the next campaign, 2024. We have to transform the party headquarters to a real campaign center for being prepared for the upcoming challenges. You know about social media and all these things. Dear friends, our aim is that we arrive in 2024 again as the biggest political family in the European Parliament, that we increase the number of seats and that nobody in 2024 can govern against the EPP in the European Parliament. That is our aim. And for the national level, dear friends, my promise is that everyone can say at home on the national level, I am part of a strong and influential political family. Even the smaller parties should say at home proudly, I am governing Europe. That is what everybody should say at home. And that has to be organized in the next upcoming month now. And who can do so? I am very grateful to present you today Thanasis Bakolas as our new Secretary General for the party. Thanasis. Thanasis is an excellent manager, an experienced campaigner, a deep political thinker, and simply a great person. And Kyriakos, I'm also grateful to you because you give him to the party after 20 years as a political advisor to you, next to you. Now he will go to Brussels as a full-time job also to serve for us in the administration as a Secretary General to do all these talks together. So all the best, Thanasis. Good luck for your responsibility. And finally, dear friends, after I spoke about policies, after I spoke about the working structure, let me close with a more general perspective. Our societies are deeply split. Look to the US, look to Great Britain, but also inside of Europe, France, Poland. In France, 15 years ago, the old Le Pen had 20 million votes less than Chirac. 5 years ago, the gap went down to 10 million votes in the first election of Emmanuel Macron. And today, a few weeks ago, for the second term of Macron, the gap went down to 5 million votes now, distance to Le Pen. So, dear colleagues, Macron, in some issues, tried even more to weaken EPP than to weaken Le Pen in some of these issues. And it's not just about France. We are facing this trend all over the world. Look to Capitol Hill, pictures of last year. What we need more than ever before are bridge builders, and that is our nature. What we don't need are elites and populists who try to split up societies because of one single political goal, and that is to gain political benefits. Elites and populists seem very different to each other. They have a different content, behaviors, they have different clothes even. But in the end, their political strategy is quite similar. Both of them only accept one truth, their own. They need a world of them and we. Both love tough words, big slogans and big promises, but they are poor in delivering. Both claim to be close to people, but if they say people, they think me, me, and me. The EPP, dear friends, protects this beautiful idea of a party of people and for the people. We are governing among people, for the people. Adenauer, de Gasperi invented these ideas. Yes, it's an old idea, but it is still the most beautiful idea of a party. To care about people and bring them together. And that is the ultimate aim of our party. Dear friends, we are center-right, we unite. Big cities, rural areas, young, old, cosmopolitan natives, workers, entrepreneurs, farmers, digital startups, and most importantly, from all parts of Europe. We don't think in we and them. We only think in Europeans. And dear friends, a second, more general consideration. De Gasperi once said, a politician thinks only of the next generation, next election, but a statesman thinks about the next generations. For our founding fathers, courageous actions to do simply the right thing was more important than the headline of tomorrow. This thinking I'm convinced about this, must drive us again. Is this easy? Was it easy for De Gasperi to speak about the coal and steel union among people who just went out of war? How was it for Adenauer to speak about the defense union? How was it for Wilfried Martens to create the single market? How was it for Helmut Kohl to speak in Germany about the euro, to get rid of the Deutschmark? Dear friends, it was never easy. But they won elections, not with following the polls, they won elections with leadership, with doing simply the right thing. And that's why, dear colleagues, that must drive us again, to be ambitious for the future of Europe and to convince people that our approach is the right approach. And this kind of leadership needs also clear values. We are Christian Democrats, dear friends. We have conservative, liberal and social roots. We will never give up the Christian identity. And as Christian Democrats, we also love Europe. I look to France, Christian Jacob. It's a shame that now the Greens and Socialists are supporting Mélenchon, when Mélenchon openly wants to break up today's European Union. Dear friends, if you give up Europe only to win some votes, then you give up your future. And that is what the Greens and Socialists are currently doing in France. So that is what is driving us. That are the fundamental principles for us. And in 2 years, we will decide in the European elections in which European direction we will go. To hand it over to populists or to elites, a Europe of mistrust, a divided Europe, a weak Europe? No. Only a Europe that belongs to all Europeans is a strong Europe. Only a Europe with the spirit of Adenauer, De Gasperi, Václav Havel and Lech Walesa can protect our European way of life. And only a Europe that doesn't fear the future has a bright future. So let's start, dear colleagues, right here in Rotterdam. Let's open now a new chapter. Who else than us? We are the rock for protecting the security and the future of Europe. Let's start right here in Rotterdam. Thank you so much.